It's Dr. Debbie Pates. It is Friday evening here by me, and I just put my challah in the oven, which gives me about 30 minutes to work, 30 minutes until I need to get it out. Let's do a little bit of yoga. Even though this is going to be a shorter practice, let's start in child's pose. So separate your knees wide. Or maybe, if you separate your knees, you're going to get into your hips. Maybe you keep your knees together and bring your forehead to the mat. You can stretch your arms out in front of you. And begin to breathe really deeply. Breathe into your back. Allow your rib cage to expand as you breathe. And let yourself center here on your mat in this space, creating a buffer, maybe, between whatever you've been doing and just this short practice. And then push up onto your hands and knees. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips. And start to move into some cat-cows. So on your inhale, drop your stomach, lift your gaze. On your exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, navel towards spine. Inhale, drop your stomach, squeeze shoulder blades together. Exhale, push through your shoulder blades, round, tuck. And then a couple more times on your own, adding in any other movements. I like to go side by side, side to side. Roll my rib cage around a little bit. And then without further ado, walk your hands forward a little bit on your mat. Step back, high plank. Hold here in high plank. Push your heels back powerfully. Push away from your mat so that you maybe even lift a little bit out of your shoulders. Notice, now I'm looking up. I don't know how well you can see this, but now I'm looking sort of just straight down at my mat. My neck is in alignment here. And then without moving your hands or your feet, lift your hips, downward facing dog. And arrive in down dog. Breathe. Maybe bend one knee, let the opposite heel sink down and switch. Do that a couple of times. By the way, that's the cat named Cheese Man. And then take a bunch of baby steps. Walk to the top of your space. Hang in ragdoll. Keep your feet about hip width distance. Let your head be really heavy. Take the wrinkles out of the back of your neck. Maybe bend one elbow and then the other. And interlace your hands in the crooks of your elbows. Rock side to side. Let your back go. And then make a choice. Do you want your feet to be hip width or bring your big toes into touch and roll up to standing? When you get to standing, roll your shoulders up and back and down. Lift your kneecaps. Engage your quadriceps. Inhale your arms up. Bring your palms together overhead and pull that energy into your heart. My screen went blank. That was weird. I just wanted to, not sure what's going on. Inhale your arms up. Palms together. Bring it into your heart. Inhale your arms up. Forward fold. Lengthen your spine. Halfway lift. Inhale. Fold. Rise again. Up to standing. Come with a flat back. Bring your hands together overhead and pull that energy into your heart. Inhale your arms up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Pull up and over. Stretch to the side. Inhale back up. Switch. Left hand pulls your right hand over. Maybe you lean your right rib cage out a little bit. And try to keep going sideways, not down, as best you can. And maybe it's a small movement, right? Come on back up. Forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen, inhale. Put your hands down underneath your shoulders. Step back, going through Couple of sun A's. High plank. Knees can be on the ground here. Lower halfway or all the way. Inhale. Upward facing dog or cobra. Pull your shoulders back and your heart through. Lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Look in between your hands and step your right foot forward, followed by your left. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold. Sweep your arms up. Rise, bring your hands together overhead. Pull your energy into your heart. Inhale your arms up. Fold. Halfway lift. Step back, high plank. Knees on or off the ground, lower halfway or all the way to laying on the ground. If you're on the ground, cobra, chaturanga, up dog. Wherever you are, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, followed by your right. Halfway lift. Fold. Sweep your arms up. Rise. Bring your hands together over heart. And pull celestial energy right in there. Inhale your arms up. Fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Bend your knees. Rise. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Fold. Halfway lift. Step back. High plank. Lower halfway or all the way till you're laying on the ground. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, bend your knee. Open up your hip. Circle. And put your right leg down and switch sides. As you lift your left leg, let your right heel continue to descend. Bend your knee. Open your hip. Just notice cricks and cracks. It's partly what this practice is about, to just loosen up a little bit. Put your left foot down. Step your right foot forward. Spin your back foot flat. 45-ish degree angle. Rise to warrior one. Push into your back foot to get your left hip facing forward here. And then clasp your hands behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And pull down on that fist. And sink into your right knee. Let your left foot continue to push into the floor, especially the pinky side. And as you shine your heart up, I invite you to virtually connect with all of the people who love you. And allow that love and allow that light that they send to you, all those good wishes, to shine into your heart. And then bow forward with humility, coming into humble warrior. Bring your right shoulder to the inside of your right knee. Allow your hands to come off your back toward the floor. Rise back up, warrior one. Warrior two. Shift your feet as necessary. Keep your right knee tracking out towards your right pinky toe. Flip your right palm up. Reverse your warrior. Keep your right knee tracking forward. Move your right hand back. Reach, reach. So as you might see, I'm looking down at, well, the cat. But what I'm not doing is looking up because it hurts my neck. Windmill your hands down and step back to high plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Step it through. Low lunge. Spin. Your right foot flat. Rise. Warrior one. Clasp your hands behind your back. If you remember which way you had your hands clasped, switch the clasp this time. And again, pull that fist down, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And this time, send out love. Think about the people who need you. Or maybe think about in this time of shutting down and our economy being so unpredictable and frightening and crazy and who knows. Think about the people who are suffering more than you and send out some love, send out some goodness, and then bow in humility. Left shoulder, inside of your left knee. Your left hip may be jutting out a little bit, but maybe tuck it back in a drop. Allow your hands to come off your back. Rise back up, warrior one. Open up, warrior two. Adjust your feet as necessary. Flip your left palm, reverse your warrior. So now your right hand is going down your right leg. Your left knee is bending and tracking forward. Well, it's not doing it. You have to do these things. And then reach your left hand back. And maybe you look down at your right foot. Maybe you look up at your left hand. Reach. Knee moving forward. Hands moving backwards. And then windmill down. Step back to high plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Look in between your hands and make your way to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold. Bend your knees. Chair pose. Stand up. And bring your hands to your heart. Inhale your arms up. Chair. Forward fold. Half lift. Step back, high plank. Make your way to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up. Step it through, low lunge. This time stay on your left heel, left toes rather, left heel lifted. And rise to crescent. Push into your left foot to bring your left hip point forward as you push back through your left heel. Maybe your knee is a little bit bent. If it gets tweaky in your low back, bring your hands to your heart and twist. Bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. You can always drop your back knee here. Push your knee into your elbow, elbow into your knee, top hand into your bottom hand, and maybe look up, rise back up. Open up warrior two. And without wasting a whole lot of time here, I'm actually going to grab a block. Straighten your right knee and reach forward, forward, forward. So you're from warrior two, straighten your right knee. Reach forward and tilt, coming into Trikonasana, triangle. And maybe you have a block on the in or outside of your front thigh, front shin rather. Reach up with your top hand, your left hand. Reach forward with the crown of your head. You want to get length on both sides of your body in this posture. And then if you have a block, we're going to move into a half moon. So bend your front knee, grab your block, step, I'm going to turn sideways, step up a little bit with your back foot, and then lift your back foot. My video went dark here. Let me see where we are. Okay, we're recording. So in half moon, you want your arm to come right down from your shoulder, and you want your body and your leg to be parallel to the ground, so that you're not really like a capital T. I don't know what you like. And if you don't have to have your hand on a block, you could have your hand balancing here, and maybe you have the flexibility to even have your hand on the floor. And then from here, come back to warrior two. Straighten both knees and pivot so that your feet are parallel to each other, or maybe even a little bit pigeon-toed. Squeeze your shoulder blades, open your heart. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. So if you have a block or a book or a water bottle, and you would like, you can have it underneath your hands here. If you have an inversion in your practice, you might throw it in right here. Maybe you just hang out. Feel a stretch through the back of your legs. And then bring your hands to your hips. Rise up, maybe squeezing your elbows together behind you. Turn your front foot to the front of the mat, right foot to the front of the mat. Come to warrior two. And then helicopter your hands down, step back, high plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Breath out, lift your left leg up. Step it through, low lunge. Bring your heel underneath your knee. Rise to crescent. Push into your right foot. Bring your heel back. Put your right hip point coming forward. Bring your hands together to your heart. Twist. Right elbow to the outside of your left knee. On this side, of course, as well. Feel free to drop your back knee. Push your right elbow into your left knee and your knee pushes back. Top hand pushes into bottom hand. Maybe you turn your head up. and then rise back up, crescent, and open to warrior two. Straighten your right knee, left knee, sorry. Reach forward. Let me grab my block again. I should have had you guys reposition it. Reach forward and come into triangle, Trikonasana pose. I don't know why my screen keeps going dark here, so there's definitely some fine tuning I need to be doing. But from warrior two, triangle. So we reach forward like this to create the length, and then we tilt without sacrificing the length. Maybe your bottom hand acts as some delicious leverage to open up and find space and freedom in your upper body. And then if you have a block, or even if you don't, moving into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Move your block forward so that when you lift your back leg, your block is directly underneath your left shoulder. It's a balance. It's kind of tricky. But the point isn't to be balanced perfectly. The point is to figure out how you regain your balance when things get a little wacky. And I think right now, coming back warrior two, straighten your left knee, pivot your feet to parallel, squeeze your hands together behind your back, and this time Prasarita, bow forward and let your hands come off your back overhead toward the floor below you. I think in this time where so much is out of balance, so much is, who the heck knows, right? It isn't about finding perfect balance. It's about regaining it when things get rocky. Bring your hands to your hips, rise back up, turn your left foot forward, bend your left knee, warrior two, and windmill down. Come to downward facing dog. So maybe you go through the whole vinyasa, or maybe you just lift your hips. Your choice, up to you. And then drop your knees. And let's try camel pose. So bring your hands onto your low back and squeeze your shoulder blades together. I don't have my hands that far down. I have my hands here so that I can use the heels of my hands to remind myself to lift up through my rib cage and especially through my low back here, squeezing my elbows together. Lift your heart and begin to trace your gaze. Keep your hips over your knees. Keep breathing. So I'm going up and back, up and back. Opening my heart, and then come on up, you guys. And just sit down on your knees for a moment. If you want, take restorative child's pose, so keep your knees together, hands by your sides, and bring your forehead to the mat. And then from either just sitting on your knees or child's pose, swing your legs around and come to a seat. Place your feet in front of you. And let your hands come behind you a little bit. Doesn't matter which way your hands are facing. And bring your right ankle on top of your left leg. So we're going to do a seated pigeon, okay? So bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. And if you're feeling something now, good. You're there. You have arrived. If you don't feel anything, maybe begin to push using the muscles in your thigh. Push your knee forward a little bit so that you're getting some opening in your butt, in your thigh. And if you're still not feeling anything, maybe walk your hands a little bit forward, or you can walk your foot toward your butt more. But really, you're just looking for sensation. Breathe. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, so if you want to pause here, if you want to stay here longer, maybe pause your video. Otherwise, take your left foot and tuck it in by your right glute. Let your right foot just come onto the floor on the outside of your left thigh. Adjust your sit bones. Bring your right hand behind you and your left arm up, and then turn your body toward the left, and take your left elbow and hook it on the outside of your right thigh. You can keep your hand up like that. Just a gentle spinal twist. Unwind, open face twist to the other side. And then come on back to center. And spread your legs out wide, take your straddle. So, I don't know if you can even see my thighs, but they're my legs. They're not out real wide. That's okay, we're not looking to win any prizes here. We're just looking to get a stretch. So spread your legs out and begin to crawl your torso forward. Imagining that the crown of your head is going to go beyond the edge of your mat. So you're not rounding, you're looking to lengthen. If you want, you can reach out your feet and grab your big toes or your thighs, your shins. You don't have to do that. And then walk back up. Bring your legs back to center. Plant your feet flat, and this time cross your left ankle on top of your right knee for the seated version of pigeon. And again, if you're like, woo, 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 okay, good, you really don't need to go any further because you're there, right? But if you want to go further, if you don't feel much, maybe use the energy of your leg to push your knee forward, away from you. Maybe walk your hands a little bit more, kind of tightening up the whole posture. And take a few breaths into the intensity of what you're feeling. And imagine, right, we practice this on the mat. We breathe into the intensity of what we're feeling. Why? So that we can do it off the mat. And boy, do we really need that skill right now. There's an awful lot of intense feelings. Turn it into a twist. So bring your right foot, by your left glute. Let your left foot come on the outside of your right thigh. Left hand comes behind your back. Sit up tall. Reach your arm up. Twist. Let the twist come not from your head, not from turning your neck, but from your rib cage, from your waist. And then place your right elbow on the outside of your left leg. Yeah, that's right. Breathe. Come on back to center. Open twist. Come on back to center. And lay down on your mat. We're going to take bridge pose. So lay down, bring your feet close to your butt, and then begin to lift. So I don't know how well you couldn't see me here at all, but bring your heels in close towards your butt. Your palms are flat on the ground. Push into your feet to lift up your hips. Maybe you want to clasp your hands underneath you and walk your shoulders toward each other, lifting your chest toward your chin. And then allow your body to come down and hug your knees in. Rock left to right. Maybe playing with spreading your legs a little bit wider, bringing them a little closer to you. One more hip opener. So take your right leg and cross it over your left. And your knees are kind of stacked here. And then bring your knees in close toward your chest. It's called whale's tail. And grab onto your ankles or the outside of your feet. And pull your knees into your chest. Try to keep your butt moving toward the floor. And your feet are coming down. Your arms are just sort of coming up from your shoulders. And you're maybe feeling this a whole lot in your right butt, thigh. And then release and switch. Cross your left thigh over your right. Your knees are sort of stacked. Pull your knees in toward your chest. Grab onto ankles or outside of your feet. And pull your feet down kind of toward your shoulders, toward the floor. Try to let your spine lengthen along the floor. Try to let your breath lengthen and help you deepen into this posture. Or at least find a little bit of relaxation in this moment, yeah? And then release. And just lay on your back. Shavasana, final resting pose. Kind of like that guy. So you let your body come long. Turn your palms up. Be soft. Try to find a time, a place. Let this be a time and a place where you can be still. You made this time for yourself. Stay here for another moment, or for as long as you would like. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.